Dragonite is one of the strongest Pokemon inside of Unite. So today I'm going to be showing you a complete guide on how to play Dragonite. Everything from the basics, builds, item and emblem sets, and some extra tips at the end to make you win as many games as possible. I can guarantee there's a tip at the end of the video that you never would have considered before. If you want specific parts of this video, they're all time-stamped in the video and in the description. Before I start the video, if Dragonite was not the Pokemon you wanted to see covered, I'm posting polls in the community tab where you can vote for the next Pokemon to be covered in these videos. First, we have the basics of Dragonite, starting off with the basic attack. The boosted attack will reduce Dragonite's move cooldown by 1 second for every boosted attack, coming in 3 variations being Water, which does lifesteal, Electric, applying a stun, and Fire, doing additional damage based on the percentage of the enemy's HP. The passives of the Dragonite family give themselves increased survivability, with Marvel Scale giving Dratini and Dragonair a defense boost when inflicted by a status condition, and Dragonite's Multi-Scale giving itself a buff reducing incoming damage for 2.5 seconds. Next are Dratini's starting moves being Twister, doing damage and reducing enemy Pokemon speed, Dragon Breath doing damage and giving another boosted attack. Then at level 5, Dratini evolves and has the option to learn Dragon Dance, a dash that grants movement speed, and attack boost in 3 different stages, which increase when you use the move repeatedly. It also boosts the power of Hyper Beam, which we'll talk about more shortly, in addition to having reducing the cooldown of auto attacks used. It also has the option for Extreme Speed, which is a dash that slows the Pokemon in the radius and pushes them away, which also resets the cooldown of the Multi-Scale passive. Once reaching level 8, Dragonair evolves and receives the option for 2 more moves, being Hyper Beam, a high damage blast that's boosted by the power of Dragon Dance, and Outrage, which turns Dragonite into a melee attacker with a large stomp and using the last boosted attack that was used. This begins a timer where Dragonite's basic attacks all become boosted until it ends, giving Dragonite a short stun effect. At level 9, Dragonite unlocks its Unite move, Draco Impact, launching Dragonite to the target location, gaining a shield, movement speed and attack speed buffs on impact. When reaching level 11, Dragonite's Dragon Dance gains a boost in movement speed granted, and Dragonite's Extreme Speed now has the power to return speed to normal if it had been reduced before. Finally, when Dragonite reaches level 13, Hyper Beam will now reduce damage taken while using the move, and Outrage reduces the duration of hindrances that Dragonite receives while enraged. Next up, let's talk about items. There are a lot of valuable items that Dragonite can use, but there are some that I want to clarify before moving forward. Despite his range, a common misconception with newer players is thinking that he's a special attacker, which he's not. Therefore, any item involving special attack is a waste of an item slot. Stacking is not really great on this Pokemon unless you like to, though I would not really recommend it. Items I would recommend are Muscle Band, Scope Lens, Razor Claw, Charging Charm, Rapid Fire Scarf, Weakness Policy and Drain Ground. Next we'll be talking about Dragonite's builds. You'll notice here that Extreme Speed isn't really present because it kinda sucks, but for the first build, being probably the best build right now, is the Hyper Beam build. Muscle Band to boost autos, and the Scope Lens and Razor Claw to boost your crit chance and damage. This is to be played in the central area. Be sure to get level 8 as fast as possible and get to the bottom Reggie with your team at 7 minutes. The second build is for Outrage. It uses the same items as the last one, except I feel like Eject works a lot better on this build to get you out of a bad situation or chase a target to get you a little bit further than Dragon Dance if it's on a cooldown. This is to be played in the bottom path, preferably with someone using XP share to give you a little bit of help to reach that level 5 before the Altaria spawn at 8 minutes and 50 seconds. A final build I will show you is a personal build of mine using the more niche Rapid Scarf along with Drain Crown to make you an unkillable wall. As long as you're comfortable with the items you're using, you will see progress. Before I forget, here's the Emblem build I use with Dragonite, 6 brown, 6 white. A lot of Pokemon use this recently. Now onto the additional tips I have for you to start winning more games and playing a good Dragonite. The first tip I will cover is to use your boosted attacks correctly. What I mean by that is to time your attacks. What you can do is use a boosted, then Dragon Breath, then another boosted to deal large burst damage in the early game. The next tip I can give you is to make sure that you use Dragonite Secure correctly. Dragonite's Dragon Breath and Hyper Beam are great secure moves. Dragon Breath to secure farm in the early game and Hyper Beam for objectives later on. When you use Hyper Beam on the bottom Reggie, try to aim for having 3 Dragon Dancers set up so you can use Hyper Beam to secure the Reggie with roughly 15% of the health bar left. As you play more, you will understand this damage threshold and understand when you should use your Hyper Beam. Another tip to remember with Dragonite is that he's not as bulky as all the rest of the all-rounders. When I say this, I mean Dragonite cannot keep taking hits for as long as a Pokemon such as Tyranitar, so keep your distance when using the Hyper Beam build and make sure you know when a fight isn't going your way so you can step out and heal before you return to the fight. Another thing to remember is that it's very important to save your Unite move for Rayquaza. This goes for all Pokemon, but you must remember that you need your Unite move for the Rayquaza fight. To make sure of this, don't use your full 100% of your Unite move charge once there is 3 minutes and 30 seconds remaining. If you have to use it between 3 minutes 30 and 3 minutes, make sure you don't use more than 60% of your charge. A final tip that you probably don't remember that I'll refresh you on is that Outrage copies the last boosted attack that you have used. Meaning you can double stun people with your electric boosted attack and then Outrage, or get extra lifesteal with the water boosted attack, or extra damage with fire. That is going to be it for today's video. If you want to learn more about how to unlock every Pokemon in Unite as fast as possible, there's a video for you here now.